Hello everyone, it's me, your Vijay sir. Welcome to your social science class.
Children, today we are going to learn Lesson 6 Life in the Sultanate Period, Class 7 History. The Delhi Sultanate provided stability and administration for 3 centuries, children. 3 centuries means 300 years. Trade flourished due to a uniform legal system and currency. Art and architecture also witnessed tremendous progress. The Bhakti and Sufi trends became the dominant theme in the lives of the people. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of India. External influences combined with traditional Indian culture to shape the society, religion, and art of the spirit. We will be reading and understanding about all these developments in this lesson, children. The society during the Delhi Sultanate was divided into 4 social groups, children. They were aristocracy, priests, townspeople, and peasants. Let's learn about these social groups in detail. Children, now let's discuss about the first social group, aristocracy. Aristocracy. It was the ruling class and hence very powerful. It consists of the Sultan, his family members, the nobles, the Hindu princes, and the landlords. The Sultan was the center of the power. The khutbah was read in his name to acknowledge his position and power. Do you know the meaning of khutbah, children? Yeah, let me tell you. A sermon read in the name of the king, emphasizing his right to rule, children. The next social group is the priests. The Brahmins among the Hindus and the ulemas among the Muslims looked after religious matters. They advised the Sultan on important religious issues. The third social group was the townspeople, children. It included merchants, traders, and artisans. They all lived in towns. The goods made by the artisans and the craftsmen were sold both within and outside the country. The fourth social group was the peasants who lived in villages, children. They had to pay many taxes. Most peasants were very poor and struggled to make their ends meet. A change of rulers or dynasties had a little effect on their lifestyle. The caste system that prevailed among the Hindus was extremely rigid. Rigid means hard. Practices such as child marriages. You know, children, what are child marriages? Yeah, children get married at a very young age. The practice of sati, children. Do you know how is this practice done, children? In ancient Hindu tradition, wherein a wife would burn herself to death on her husband's funeral pyre. Within time, it became a forced practice, children. By the efforts of the social reformer Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Lord William Bentinck abolished sati in India in the year 1829. The parada system, where women have to cover themselves without showing their face, children. And ban on widow remarriages, children. A widow is a lady whose husband is dead. She cannot remarry again. Girls were even denied education. They were not allowed to read or write. Now let's learn about nobles, children. The nobles were a very powerful group. Most of the nobles were Turkish or Afghans. They held important positions. Some were governors and others were military commanders. The nobles were granted land for their services, children. This land was called Ikta. We have already discussed an Ikta is a land given by the Delhi Sultans to the nobles. The practice of giving grants of land came to be known as the Iktadari system. The nobles who received Iktas were called Iktadars. The head of an Ikta is called an Iktadar, children. They collected taxes from the farmers living on their Iktas. They used this money to maintain their lifestyle and also pay salaries to the soldiers under them. In return, the Iktadars supplied troops to the Sultan whenever the need arose. When the Sultan rules weakened, most of these Iktadars behaved like independent rulers. Trade was an important activity, children. Internal and external trade was carried on from Delhi Lahore, it is located in present day Pakistan. Lucknow, located in present day Uttar Pradesh. Daulatabad, located in present day Maharashtra, and several other places. Every town had a market where goods coming from near and far were bought and sold. The Baniyas and the Multanis were the two communities involved in trade. Foreign trade also flourished. India traded with China, the Malaya Islands, West and Central Asia, and East Africa. The exports from India included fine textiles, handicrafts, and spices. The sultans of Delhi encouraged trade. They built roads, popularized the use of money, and standardized weights and measures. Sultan Iltutmish started the minting of silver tanka. Tanka means coins, children. Let's discuss about the administration under the Delhi Sultanate, where we're going to discuss about the court, the departments, and the ministers. The Sultan was all powerful, children. His court was very ceremonial. Sajda and paibos were performed before him. Children, now let me give you the meaning of sajda. The Persian custom of stretching out on the ground with one's forehead touching the ground. It was done before the Sultan to acknowledge his supremacy. Paibos or Jamin Boss, the Persian custom of kissing the feet of the Sultan. It was a gesture to acknowledge the supremacy of the Sultan. The Sultan sat on a throne built on a raised platform. Princes, ministers, heads of different departments, and ambassadors from different countries were assigned fixed places to stand. Scribes recorded the orders of the Sultan. The Sultan was the head of the administration. There were 4 departments or pillars of the empire. The first one is Diwani Wizrat, concerned with finance, money matters. Second one is Diwani Rizalat, concerned with religious matters. Third one is Diwani Arz, concerned with military matters. Fourth one is Diwani Insha, concerned with royal correspondence. The Sultan selected nobles to head the different departments of the state. The Wazir was the Prime Minister. He supervised the work of all officials, kept a record of revenue and expenditure, and appointed people to important posts. The Qazi was the chief judge and the Sultan's advisor on religious issues. The Bakshi was the paymaster of the army. The noble who held overall charge of the army was called Aris-e-Mumalik. He and his officers recruited, equipped, and trained soldiers. 2 religious trends became popular during the Sultanate period, children. They were Bhakti Movement among Hindus and Sufi Movement among Muslims. You will be reading about them in lesson 11.